What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Talk with Three Dudes. Welcome back. I know we've been off for a week.
I was in Tucson, Arizona this past week, and let me tell you, it was lovely. Perfect weather. It's in the 70s, 80s.
It wasn't raining?
No, not raining at all. Nice. It was nice. Got to eat, and lots of good food that I've been missing.
Did you have a hot dog?
I had a Sonoran hot dog. Oh. Sonoran hot dog, and I had caramelo. And I had EG's, which is a staple in Tucson. They have these slushies that are really good. They're kind of like slushies, but it's like their own thing. Right. And they're grinders. Their sandwiches are good. I went on a Friday, so that day I had a tuna sandwich, tuna grinder. The one that I do like though is it's a spicy grinder, which is really good.
What they just put like what jalapenos and stuff like that, or?
I believe so. I believe it's jalapenos. Might be banana peppers or pepperoncinis. One of those.
Those are delicious on pizza.
Those are delicious on
everything.
True.
The banana peppers or
banana peppers.
Pepperoncinis.
Are they the same thing?
No. Banana peppers are. Damn it! What are the banana peppers? I don't know if it's the long ones.
They're the long ones.
They're the long ones, right?
The
long flat ones, kind of. And then the pepperoncinis are the round kind.
They're like the In-N-Out kind.
Yeah.
And then the banana peppers are who has those?
Like Italian restaurants.
Well, I know Subway has them. I always put those on there. But yeah.
But anyways, today we are having some Irish whiskey. Taking a break from the bourbons.
Yeah, we didn't deviate too much though. It's just another Irish whiskey,
but it's so good.
Redbreast.
Yeah, it's delicious.
12-year. It is very good. Surprisingly, I think I had it before.
I have not. This is my first time trying it.
I just don't remember.
Yeah, I never had it before, but it's good. It's funny how you guys started laughing when I first tasted it, and then I was like, "This is good." And he's like, "Yep."
I knew it
because Larry first tasted it. He's like, "Oh, it's just dangerous," and I was like, "Is Eddie gonna want to drink it all night? Like he wants more and more." He's like, I want more, and I haven't even finished mine.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, man, this is really easy to drink in terms of like, very like it's very 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 like mellow, almost.
Yeah, it is
almost a little bit too much, and I can see why we actually have the barrel proofs of this.
Yeah.
And I can see why that might be a popular option. I think this is 80 proof, so it's pretty low proof.
This is very smooth.
Yeah, so not a whole lot of like alcohol burn as far as coming to whiskeys. I mean, if you're somebody somebody who just drinks beer and then
it's one of those be gentle. It's my first time.
Yeah, whiskeys. But this would be pretty good when you get off of work or something like that. And you just get home, and you just want something just
relax, little winding down,
little nightcap.
So on the nose it says, let's see, rich, sweet, and a little oily. I don't know about oily, but notes of fruit, vanilla, nuts, spice, citrus, and some light sweet
fruit.
Almost floral notes that drift through on the tail.
Yeah, I get citrus.
Yeah. I get the floral.
Get the floral, yeah.
Definitely floral. Okay, on the palate, let's see, it says notes of fruit, honey, vanilla, spice, and citrus with a nutty undertone that ties everything together.
No butterscotch?
No butterscotch, well, according to this person, but it's subjective though. Remember that lady that thought that Eagle Rare tastes like Chinese food?
Yeah.
And I was like, Chinese food, where?
Well, I think she may have said that because maybe like a hint of like white pepper. White pepper is pretty extensively used in Chinese food, so maybe that's what she meant, but
fair enough.
But yeah, but I see the butter.
The finish, warm, coppery. I do get copper. Yep. Taste malt, vanilla, spice, fruit, and a light bit of wood.
Yeah, not. I don't know. I like it. It's easy to drink. I think Green Spot might be a little bit better example of.
I agree.
I mean, a little bit more complex. This is almost like a little bit too
simple.
Kind of a little, yeah. Not in a bad way. I mean, it's still really good. But if you want something that's Irish and you want something that's a little bit more complex, I think Green Spot might be a little bit better choice.
I gotta try that again. I forgot how it like
Green Spot.
Oh. A little bit punchier. I mean,
can't remember now.
It's worth the price tag.
I would not put ice on this.
On the Green Spot.
On this.
You know what?
Oh, on this.
I'm gonna try it. Just
I like it the way it is.
In the name of science.
Yeah, it might
Just
be
try it out.
like delicious. I don't know.
So we didn't have water, so we're washing this down with water.
Yeah. The different kind of water, I guess.
Flavored water.
Yeah. It's gonna be a fun podcast.
Is it though? Of course it is.
It could be.
Of course it is. There's so many things we didn't get to talk about because of last week. We didn't.
Well, not last week. The week before.
It was the week before.
It was the week before. We took a week off.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Feels like forever.
It does feel like forever, but it's only been like a week.
Yeah.
But so many things have been going on.
It's been crazy.
I mean, not to bring up Jussie Smollett, but I mean he's gonna get sued. Apparently.
Yeah, that changed. Like originally they said that, oh, it's not right. And then somebody was like, oh, I heard that it was like a. Originally the number of over 100,000 was being thrown around. Now it's like 30,000. I'm like, how does that change?
So I think it went 130,000 and then went to 30,000.
What are you guys talking about? Sorry.
Jussie Smollett.
Oh yeah.
The gentleman that was doing what's that called when you do like a spontaneous act?
Somewhere? A flash mob?
Yeah, it was the flash mob that he did in the middle of a polar vortex.
Right.
Yes.
With a sandwich.
That's what that's what my defense would have been.
Yeah.
Instead of that the brothers, I forgot their last name, but that they used whiteface apparently, which is why he thought it was two white people, MAGA loving white people that attacked him. So that was great. That's I don't understand how that even happened. How that even happens, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, and they had all. Well, I know the chief from Chicago was kind of frustrated about it.
No, the chief and the mayor.
Yeah.
The mayor. Also, the college scam that went on.
Yeah,
that was funny.
More stuff too to add to that. It's been ongoing, I guess.
Yeah. I think they just went to court on Wednesday, right? Or Tuesday.
Yeah. What I found funny is that people were like surprised. It's like, really?
Yeah,
it's been going on for a while. I mean, you would see it in TV shows and movies. It was hinted at. I mean, people knew this was going on.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
it somebody
it just got caught. I mean, the other story that I found funny was Dr. Dre had made a Twitter post that he said that he said that his daughter got into school, no jail time, #no jail time, but forgot to mention that he had donated several $1 million to that school.
It was like $70 million.
I think it was like $70 million.
I think he forgot about Dre.
He forgot about Dre. Dre forgot about Dre. There's these big ass fucking bugs flying around.
So they're not exactly mosquitoes. What are they called?
I don't remember.
Fucking dragonflies and shit. The way they look.
Horseflies or whatever.
No, because horseflies fucking bite hard.
I don't know.
Big mosquito. They're called. Okay, I typed in big mosquito. It comes out just large mosquito. Oh, crane fly.
Crane fly.
So apparently they're not the ones that suck your blood.
Right.
I guess the small ones.
Yeah.
Right.
So nothing to worry. But yeah, I see 1, 2.
There's a bunch of them.
3.
I know.
4.
Not
5,
just here,
6.
but it fucking everywhere. The other day, I was fucking around with my sprinklers, and I turned them on, and they fucking just flew out of the fucking grass like crazy. I was like, God damn!
I think this year we're gonna have a lot of mosquitoes.
Well, all that rain.
Yeah. All that still water, probably
sitting water in like odd spots.
Right. All that rain, and then the super bloom. I mean, do you guys follow that crap? All that traffic that happened in like Lake Elsinore and stuff.
Yeah, but it's dumb because you can go up to Victorville and you'll see it up there.
Right.
I helped a friend move in that area, and they had closed down the street, and I had to explain why I was trying to go down that way. It was the dumbest thing ever.
Well, now they have a zip line too.
Shut up! They have
right by the zip line is where I helped my friend move.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I had to turn on the same
road.
Oh wow!
I was like,
what pisses me off is that people were just trampling all over them.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Well, for the gram, you got to do it for the gram.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you care about nature and shit.
Yeah,
assholes.
It's just it's funny because we were discussing it at work, and one of the coworkers, she's like, "Oh, I don't remember this being like a thing. Like I remember a few years ago.
Yeah,
but before that, she's like, I didn't remember it being a thing. I was like, well, it wasn't a thing.
There was no rain.
No. Well, there was no Instagram.
Oh, that too.
That's true.
But also the rain though.
But mostly you got to do it for the gram.
Yeah,
it's the most important thing.
What kind of gram are we talking about?
And the snap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Snap. Yeah.
And El Face.
Facebook.
El Face.
So I guess they started charging people like $10. I don't know whether it was $10 a person, $10 a car, but started charging people. Yeah.
Yeah, because they had a shuttle.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is that like public land there, or is it just federal?
I honestly don't know what that land is. I don't know if it's federal or public. No.
Because I know back there they used to have a shooting range over there in the back.
Should we close the door?
Yeah.
That might not be a bad idea. I don't know.
So
kids next door.
The neighbors next door.
Being a little loud.
Which is okay. Are we those old men? It's like, hey.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
I mean, that wouldn't be a problem if we weren't trying to record something, you know.
It's not a problem at all.
Here, hold on. Oh.
That's fine.
They were gonna hang out here anyway.
Yeah, they were. Anyways,
you had to turn the sound down. So
not the kids. The
mosquitoes or the crane flies.
Crane flies.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So
they don't bother me, dude. You can just.
I mean, they're just hanging out. Whatever.
Yeah. And
as long as they're not flying on me, well, I guess they're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this week's been kind of crazy. Some unexpected news. Some unexpected stuff happened.
Yeah.
My ex-father-in-law passed away yesterday, I guess you can say officially. It's a trip, man. I mean, when it just happens suddenly, it's complete trip, man.
Right.
And, it's heartbreaking, and it's funny because not funny that he passed away, but Rebecca Lemmy Barba called From Here to Eternity, which talks about the whole different how people treat death in different parts of the world. Whereas here in the United States, like it's almost taboo. It's almost like a stigma. Like nobody wants to be around it, you know, around the body. Where before, like it was common for you to have the body in your own house, for you to like bathe the body, prepare the body yourself. Now it's very corporate to where it's like
somebody else takes care of it.
Exactly, someone else takes care of it. They do the embalmment and all
that.
You
don't have a choice, huh?
You do. And you don't. It's just that people aren't educated on it.
Right.
You do have the option of not being embalmed. You don't need to be embalmed. I mean, you're gonna. It's matter that's gonna decompose.
Return to the earth as you.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then these metal caskets and all that. Like that's not necessary. Like it's not. We're supposed to return to the earth.
Yeah. You were made by earth and water. And you return.
And so now there's a lot more options in the States that people aren't aware about, like as far as like natural burials and like not using like a metal casket. In Colorado, there's a community in Colorado where they do open air pyres, where pretty much it's an open air fire where they cremate
just like they used to do back in the days, right? Where
right.
They used to put you on like a lake or something, or
on a Viking ship,
right? And so
cool. That one's badass.
And so
I would like to go out that way. Sorry,
imagine.
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool.
Well,
send you off, but you have to be a member of that community, like live in that actual town where they do it.
Right.
Now there was a big issue about it because at first neighbors were like, "Well, we don't want the fire to come over." And we don't want like the smell and things like that. But they had to prove to them like it's clean. It's a cleaner way of doing it. Because when it comes to like cremations too, the fire's so hot that it also burns like teeth fillings. So you got that mercury that's being dissipated into the air, which is also an issue as far as cremation and stuff. And there's another place in I believe North Carolina where they're doing certain experiments with on a body farm. So a body farm, if you guys don't know what a body farm is, it's where people donate their bodies and they lay them out there in certain conditions, and law enforcement officials go there and they study how a body decomposes, so they learn how
long a body's been out there, that sort of thing. Yeah.
And they take dogs out there and they train them to
find them
cadaver dogs. Yeah.
So right now there's some people that are out there doing I guess a project you can call it, of trying to turn a human body into compost. In other words, like soil. So which is very interesting, to tell you the truth. That I think if I had the option, I think I'd want to do that.
I think it makes more sense, like in terms of if you're gonna opt for a burial, like, typically, like, that's something that, is like we mentioned earlier, you return to the earth.
Right.
Like, that's the way to do it. I didn't know that. I didn't think about it, but I guess it's true. The whole embalming process, and it's like it seems unnecessary. But the problem is that sometimes you can't get buried right away.
Right.
Like it could be.
Yeah.
I know in certain religions, you have to be buried as quickly as possible. Some as soon as within 24 hours.
I think that's Judaism,
Islam, and Judaism.
Judaism,
yeah. So
there's certain time they're used to taking care of the body themselves. Like I said,
Yeah, that's part of the process is washing the body.
Right.
As gruesome as it sounds.
Well, I remember when I would talk to my mom, when she was living in Mexico. That's what they used to do. They used to just get the body and clean it up as a family, set it up, and everybody would come and do the rosary and then pray and then
and you have the wake in the house.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. Like people are like, oh, you have to go to like a chapel or a funeral home, but you actually have the option of taking the body with you. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
You can take the body with you. You can have the wake in your house if you want.
Really?
Yeah. You can. There's a lot of things people are very misinformed that I learned about as far as death goes.
I'd rather have that than have it in a mortuary. Just have it at, like, say, here at the house. Just even if it's closed casket, whatever. Just have it here, and then you have your thing, and then.
I think it's
more personal.
Right. It's more intimate.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot. It has a lot more meaning. Especially for the family, I think it's therapeutic to be able to even take care of the family member, even in death. Yeah. It's probably more therapeutic to be able to let go of the person. It's like, well,
And I think, we've mentioned this before, and it's something that I've kind of been thinking about as well, in terms of planning for that inevitable stage of life, it's something that almost, you don't want to think about, but I think you have to. If something like that is important to you, how you're, whether you're buried, whether you're cremated, whether you're shot into space, whether, I mean, that's the thing.
Who was cremated and put into
Hunter S.
a cannon?
Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh, okay.
So he in his, I think he owned a bunch of land. I think it was Wyoming, but he wanted I guess you can call it a statue of a fist, a fist like this, right?
Right.
And so he had his ashes blown out from the fist into the air.
Yeah.
And he wanted his ashes in midair to blow up and spread all over the land that he owned. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. I mean, that's the sort of arrangement you got to make at some point, if you want something like that, if, whatever. If you want to get cremated and put into a coffee can and then thrown on the beach. Like Big Lebowski. I don't know if he wanted that or not. That's what ended up happening. But
in Indonesia, I read that they keep their family members' bodies for years. They build certain houses, and it's like just straight up body for years, and they dress it up. And each year they have like this festival where they bring out the body.
I've heard of that, yeah.
And they dress them up, take pictures with it. It may sound gruesome, but I think that's pretty cool. Like,
it's interesting
because death is inevitable, like you said.
Yep.
And it's nothing we should be honestly scared about. And it is something that we do need to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just so sad that here we're just like, oh, death. Well, let's not. Yeah. Even when when we say someone died, instead of saying died, like they say, oh, they passed away.
Yeah.
We try to soften the blow. But it's like, yeah, they died. Yeah. So, and
Santana said it best. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Oh, was it American Me?
Yeah.
Comes after us all, like taxes.
Yeah. It's funny because this week I was helping in the counter at work.
Yeah.
And then, it's funny because I treat it like the bar. Because you're there helping them, and then all of a sudden they open up like a book, and they'll start telling some guys like, yeah, he's like, last night I was thinking, I was like, we're going to die. I was like, yeah. He's like, it's inevitable, man. It's gonna happen. In 12 years. He's like, yeah. He's like, I was all thinking about it. He's like, there's nothing I can do about it. I was like, no. It's unavoidable. And it's funny because, you know, how we ended the week and, you know, it's crazy.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. Everybody thinks about it.
One of the best horoscope readings I've ever seen was by Robin Williams, where he pretended to be a mystic. And he's like, Aries, you gonna die. He's like, Sagittarius, you gonna die. Cancer, you gonna die.
Gemini, you're gonna die twice.
Isn't there also, I think it's in Nepal or somewhere in India, where they do a sky burial?
Oh, the fucking sky burials. Gnarly.
What? You ever heard of sky burials? So sky burials are, so the reason why they do this is because they live in a high elevation. So the soil's hard. It's always frozen. It's rocky. So they can't bury. So what they do is they take the body up to like a high point to where the vultures are. Mm-hmm. And there's a designated person. I forgot the name of the term of that position that person holds. But they use a machete to chop up the body. And then typically they throw like the cartilage, like the softer tissue first, so the vultures will devour it.
Right.
And then take the rest of the body parts, and then the vultures will devour it in minutes, down to bone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It wasn't India. It was like somewhere in Nepal.
It's like somewhere in that area.
Yeah, interesting.
In India, they do have these towers where they stack the bodies in like this big tower, and there's different sections of the tower. But back in the day, like there was a bunch of vultures back in the day. So the vultures would come and, you know, on the outside was men, on the inner ring was women, and in the very inner ring was children. So the vultures would come and just pick the bones clean because they believed in not desecrating the ground.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Beale is feed the dead family to the birds.
Well, that's what the sky burial is.
Yeah.
And then Heather Gordon says, "What the fuck, damn Robin? Why sad gotta die?"
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think he predicted his own death too.
Yeah.
And so in India, but now there's a shortage of vultures because they started giving this medication to I forgot if it was cows or horses. It was kind of like ibuprofen for cows,
right?
For pain. But once the cows died, the vulture would eat them, and they would kill the vultures. So 99% of the vulture population died off.
Crazy!
Wow.
So all those bodies now that are in those towers
they're
just there, just rotting in the sun. So a way to try to fix that was try to like use like mirrors to magnify the sun.
Oh.
Right?
To make it hotter.
To make it hotter.
But the problem is on sunny days, it's not able to. So the bodies are just there rotting. And so they're trying to change the culture there. But they're like, no, sorry, we can't bury you.
That's interesting. That's crazy.
Crazy stuff.
Wow.
And then on the whole being dead thing is, we were coming back. I went to go watch a movie, and then I started hearing about it on the radio. They were talking about Nipsey Hussle being murdered.
Sorry, that was
they were talking about Nipsey Hussle being murdered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I was
crazy.
Yeah, I heard a few of his songs at the barbershop I go to, and I guess they're big. They were big fans there. The biggest thing, I guess, that why a lot of people saying that it was such a huge loss is that he was murdered outside of his store, like that little strip mall
in his neighborhood. Yeah,
that strip mall. He had actually kind of restored it and made it a business for the community, so the community could benefit. Not just him, but give people jobs and something to do and something to look forward to. And I mean, I think that's one of the things that some of those communities maybe lack is of course there's pride in the community. But I think there's nothing more useful than being able to be employed in your community and making a difference. And apparently he was a guy. He was commended for that because he came from a background of maybe not necessarily the best life, but turned it around and wanted to make improvements to his community. So that's always to be commended for anybody to do that.
Right.
He didn't have to. He could have moved into somewhere in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And just ignored the problem.
He had big plans of buying up land
and making high rises.
Yeah. Making high rises, affordable high rises for the community.
Yeah.
And then, but I also saw articles though arguing of why you need to move out of the hood. Like after it's like, okay, I can see, but it's not his fault. Like it was that asshole's fault.
Yeah. I don't see that. And I think if you like, I was watching an interview with the podcast with Joe Rogan on with Killer Mike. Right. He's a big proponent of buying back your hood, as he calls it. You know, going back to your neighborhood and you know, buying property, improving the community, and making it your own, making it beneficial,
right?
As opposed to it being sold to somebody else, right? You know, outside.
I guess you could call it gentrifying it in the correct way,
right?
I think that more people that like go and you know make it big and stuff, they try to forget where they. Well, some of them, not all of them. I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean. And then they want to do their own thing somewhere else where they can make profit instead of bringing it home. And you know what I mean.
There are some people that do that because they're like frustrated. But like people like Nipsey Hussle, Killer Mike, I mean, they have the right idea. It just takes a lot of patience, you know.
Oh yeah, it does.
Because if you grow up with the poor mentality, and then it's hard. It's hard to kind of.
And then some people don't like that change, or they don't want that.
You ever watch that? I think it's on Netflix. I think it's called Trigger Warning.
No,
with Killer Mike.
No.
It's a good show. You guys should watch it. Some of the stuff, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with. But it's overall it's very good. He brings up a lot of good points. I mean, it gets to the point where he starts a religion and then his own country. So it's definitely worth a watch. Like it's interesting. There's some really good points.
So for the people that don't know who Killer Mike is, he's half of Run the Jewels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other half of Run the Jewels is LP, which is he started Company Flow back like in the late 90s, mid 90s. You guys remember Company Flow?
Yeah, I remember Company Flow.
And so when I first got introduced to Run the Jewels, I was listening to it and I was like, hold up, this other cat sounds familiar. I looked up, it was LP. I was like, oh shoot, it's LP.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. But they had good music.
Yeah.
But what was the name of that documentary you said?
I think it's called Trigger Warning. I could be wrong. Look it up. It's on Netflix. But yeah, that's a thing. Is like Chris was saying, is like not only he gave back to the people, not just giving handouts, which is, in my opinion, I mean that's the way to go. Like if you just give somebody a handout, you know, it's what it's like the saying goes. It's like you're giving them a hand up, not a handout.
Yeah,
like you're enabling them to better their situation,
right?
You know, and that's always to be commended. I mean, sure. I mean, and the thing is like a lot of people were saying that, and they even mentioned in the press conference, like he actually had an upcoming meeting with
the mayor,
LAPD, and the mayor, and stuff like that to try to curb the increase in gang violence in that area. So
it is called Trigger Warning.
Yeah,
and I mean it brings to mind that saying, you know, feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish.
Yeah,
feed him for a lifetime.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, so like I said, a hand up. I like that saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Again, it's pride in your neighborhood, and it's pride. Like, you know, you're working to create something, to cultivate something. I mean, and then when somebody around you, you know, is maybe acting in a way that would threaten that.
Yeah.
It makes you more cautious, right? As opposed to like maybe encouraging that type of behavior. Like maybe it, you know, you find different ways to help other people.
Right.
So
I think there needs to be some accountability. Like you said, like you see someone acting up, and like maybe calling them out, like hey, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, again, it's the community thing. It's you know, having respect for other people in your neighborhood and stuff like that. Like, you know, I mean, now we hardly know our neighbors.
That's true.
You know, and it's different. It's a different time. I mean, we're not that old, but I do remember, you know, our old neighbors. And I was having a conversation with my brother, and we were talking about, you know, stuff we used to do, and, you know, trouble we used to get into and stuff like that, and things we used to do. So it was cool.
It's just good. Get back home before dark, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, dude. It was like we had bikes, and it was, we were having a discussion. I was telling them, like, man, I almost want to go back just so I can see like how far we really used to go. Because to us, like for kids, it seemed like it was a long ways away. Like we had a lot of freedom, but again, it's one of those things I often think about it. People these days, there's a lot of child molesters and stuff like that. I don't know. Is there?
I think there always has been. It's just
now there's more aware.
Yeah, it's more aware out there. Let's see, Chris. We definitely need better pathways through life, not just to be handed that better life. We need struggle to feel accomplished, to value our success. I think one thing that Jordan Peterson has said. I know a lot of people aren't fans of Jordan Peterson, but there's a purpose crisis right now. A lot of people don't have a purpose. I can definitely see that.
It's tough. Like, it's one of those things that, of course, having a job and for a lot of people, it's something you take for granted, right? It's something that, and depending on the type of work you do, maybe you feel fulfilled, maybe you don't. Yeah. At the end of the day, like, you might not feel like you made a difference. You might. I don't know. I've had a lot of different jobs. I've had jobs where, I can point to something at the end of the day and said that, I made that happen. Now that's not where I am now, but it's fulfilling in different ways, right?
Well, I think it's different too when you have kids. It like changes the whole thing. Like I remember when I didn't have a kid, or when I was just, it was just money, and I'm like, all right, well, whatever. And then when you have a kid, and then you build something together with somebody or by yourself, and you get your own car, that's when you're like, oh shit, like, okay, that's the first step. Okay, that's, you know what I mean?
I saw a post from somebody that was talking about, they were kind of struggling with the fact that, they had some addiction going on, and they were a dad, and it just didn't feel like he was, like he wanted to continue in life, and because he had fucked up, there was some some jail time involved, and I think that, again, once you become a parent, things change. Like, like I told him, it's like, dude, like, whatever you do, like, don't get help for you. I was like, get help for this, like, for your kid, because your kid deserves better than that. Like, you may feel like you're not worth sticking around for, and you may feel bad about yourself, but it's not about us. Like, once you have a kid, whatever, like, we had enough time to work and fix on ourselves, and do what we were gonna do for ourselves,
right. Right.
And it's any sort of effort that you might put into being a better person should be with the focus of your child. Yeah, I think.
I agree. Yeah,
I mean,
because they are the future.
They are.
It's not just that. It's one of those things. It's like I feel like, there's times where it's like, man, like, you kind of feel you kind of feel like, damn, like, I know my parents, they kind of maybe struggled with certain situations, and I thought I would do better in these certain situations, but maybe I'm not, and it's one of those things. But it's like it's easy to criticize, I guess, when you're on the receiving end, right? Yeah. But it's a whole different thing when you have to deal with different situations.
But then I guess you sit down and you think about it, like how your parents worked so hard and how many hours they weren't there, or because you'll be like, oh, I wish he was there, I wish, or whatever. But then you think about it, it's like, well, you know what? He was working because he wanted to provide for.
Yeah, it's a different perspective for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you want them to be there. Which, being there for your kid is very important, of course. But
I think especially, and I mean, especially for dads, quite honestly. Like, it's a lot of, I mean, there's plenty of studies out there that show that dads really do have an important role in a kid's life. Right. No matter how, the movies make it want to seem like the dad's just stupid and, is to be made fun of as part of the family. Like, I think that's, unfortunately something that's been pushed for quite a long time.
Right. The dads are disposable.
And then we've seen that, we're not all Al Bundy,
or Homer Simpson.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it is something that I mean, as men, we should take that a little bit more seriously.
I think as men, absolutely stepping up, just being present. I mean, I was speaking to a coworker of mine where, her nephew was acting up, and she was telling me how her nephew was acting. I was like, it sounds like your nephew needs some attention. You know, that's the only reason why kids act up, because they want and they need that attention.
Right.
And that's why they act up, because they want that attention. So that's very important, to be present in the moment, not just be like, oh, well, you know, I take my kids here and I let them do this and this. Like, no, they want you to be present. They want you to talk to them, and
it's funny. Well, because I don't know, like when you're eating dinner, just talk about how their day was. You know, it's part of like that. You know, just
Yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to like take them to Disneyland. Like, just the simple things, like just spending some time.
That is the one thing I will say that I remember, at least from being a kid, is, you know, every night, you know, we gathered around the table and had dinner. And maybe it wasn't like the most talkative place in the world, but we, you know, I mean, sometimes it was kind of like, it's kind of like a touchstone, right? It was just kind of like something that was constant, something that always happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that, I mean, you know, that one important thing about getting like kind of for kids is routine. Like it like when somebody kind of like, if once you get your kids in a kind of a routine, like it's easier for them. Like I noticed that, you know, in terms of getting my daughter ready in the morning, like I do it a certain way.
Right.
And then if Jen has the day off or whatever, like it goes to hell in a handbasket. Like she acts completely different. It's a whole thing. Like instead of getting ready in like, you know, 20 or 30 minutes, it takes like an hour. And all of a sudden she's hungry, and it's like you know,
I completely agree, because I have to wake up all my kids in the morning, so I know I have this much time. So okay, you wake up here, boom, 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 and then you're out the door. Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because you have to create that routine sometimes, because you know it'll save you in the long run. Because if you lag on it, then you're gonna be stretching at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it easier for them. I think. I think it's one of those things that like once you.
It's a very good point, Chris and Vic.
Wow.
Apparently, on a timeout.
So Chris Beal said, "Gotta leave the phones away from the tables."
You know what, man? Like, as much as like, you know, we try to do that. And I'm not gonna say like, oh, that's like 100% of the, no, I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of, you know, I mean, especially in the morning, because you know I'm trying to catch up on stuff and trying to see, you know, read stuff, and it's easier for me to kind of cruise in the morning if I'm reading something or if I'm listening to something, that sort of thing.
But I think as far as what Chris is saying, like I see what he's saying, because I do see, you know, certain people, like when it comes to parenting, they think that just handing out like a tablet to their kid and just like watching YouTube videos or Netflix, like that's parenting.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, oh, it's like, dude, like, you know, take your kids out, spend some time. Like I said, be present. Yeah. Like, just handing handing a tablet or phone to your kid, like that tablet becomes your kid's parent.
Yes and no. I mean, there's good points and there's bad points to it. It's one of those things. It's a new piece of technology, not something that we had, and it's something that we kind of have to manage. It's like candy, right? Like all kids want to eat candy and ice cream for dinner, but you can't do it all the time.
No, there's a balance.
Even if you're an adult, you might try to do it, but there's bad consequences.
As an adult, I can't do it. Like when I remember as a kid, I was like, man, if I had $100, I can buy this much candy and I would eat candy all day. But as an adult, I'm like, God, I feel sick. I feel like I'm just gonna throw up. I'm gonna get chorro.
Yeah. Even if you get $1, they don't even like. I don't even know what to get. You know.
I was talking about it with my brother. We were talking about like how back in the day, like when the chips, the bag of chips was like a quarter.
Oh yeah, dude.
It was like a pretty decent size. Like when we were growing up. Now it's like
air's expensive.
Now it is, yeah.
Air's expensive.
It's gonna be taxed pretty soon, probably.
No,
I'm just saying because you buy potato chips and most of that bag is there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like holy crap.
I don't know.
Big is what's the first thing we do when we go to a restaurant? Take a pic of the burger, etc.
I don't do that anymore.
I guess I don't. Yeah, I try not to. I mean, if it's ramen, I'll do it just to send it to these guys. I did it the other day.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
I was like,
I do, however, I have this app called Untapped. I think it's called Untapped. I do check in the beer just because, like, if I want to remember what beer I had, I'm like, okay, what beer did I have that day that was good? But I don't do it all the time though. And but I do go back and I'm like, what was that beer I had at that one place? Oh, that was that beer. That's the beer I liked.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, you can't say anything wrong about ramen, but that's me.
Yeah. Well,
I heard you turned your wife into a convert.
I did.
Yeah. You converted your wife.
Yep. I converted to ramen.
It's funny because like she was telling us, and she was kind of like, she was telling us that you told her you really wanted to take her, and she was kind of like, yeah. But then like when she went, she was like, oh, let's go.
Yeah. It's like I told you.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Don't fuck around.
Yeah.
That was fun.
You took her to Cause, right?
Yeah, I took her to Cause.
I
want to take her to the other one. I actually been wanting to go to the one he's been telling me in LA. I just want the perfect.
I can't pronounce that.
Daikokuya.
Yeah.
There's one in LA, but there's one in.
Sounds like bukkake.
Well, I mean, maybe that's the secret ingredient.
Daikokuya.
Heather Gordon said beers. Yeah,
beers indeed.
Yeah.
So
they are drinking beers.
Yeah, we are. Like I said, one of those. We did go to this beer place in Tucson. I will say they have a good selection of beer and liquors.
That's good. You know, one thing I'm mad that I didn't do when I was in Ohio, I didn't go and try to see if they had different whiskey. I couldn't. Everything was so far away. Where we stayed, like I think the get to the closest where they had a liquor store or something, probably like 20 miles.
It would have been worth checking out.
It would.
20 miles is not that long.
Yeah, but
especially not there. It's not like there's traffic.
Yeah, but there's no Uber.
What? I don't believe.
No, I'm serious. There's no Uber.
Taxis. You know, taxis exist still, right?
He was telling me that there was like the population where he went was like 6,300. So I don't imagine that there's a whole lot of people driving Uber there.
Probably not. Dude, it was
the one Uber driver that applied probably got turned down.
Or probably not. Maybe he's monopolizing out there.
That's true. Move out there and just do Uber.
Fuck.
Be the only Uber driver.
Where people don't see opportunity and people do see opportunity. That's the difference.
There you go.
There's a town on our way to Tucson called Felicity. Population 2.
Shut up.
I swear.
No way.
Yeah. The sign said population 2.
So Heather asked what we were drinking. We're drinking Redbreast 12. It's an Irish whiskey. Quite delicious. Very easy to drink.
Very easy.
It's not particularly pricey.
And it's not complex.
But it's also not particularly intimidating. It's a good start. Pretty decent introduction to Irish whiskey, I would think. But there are other ones that we prefer.
Green Spot, namely.
Yes.
Green Spot.
I'm going to stay with Japanese whiskey. So,
well, in terms of specific whiskey, for like a good example of an Irish whiskey, I think Green Spot is a good one.
Yes. Oh, speaking of, while I was out there, I had sent you guys a text about that bartender at that beer place.
Right.
She used to manage a Scotch bar out in Oregon, Portland specifically, and she gave a bunch of list of
I saw that. There was a lot of recommendations that are fairly popular. Easy to find stuff from what I saw.
And she did recommend to hit up Stuart Ramsay. He does do podcasts, so I'll hit him up. And to look up Whiskey Bible by Jim Murray.
I'll have to look that up.
And if we do ever go abroad, which I plan to go abroad with you guys as far as different countries, she said to look up the whiskey experience in Edinburgh.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things
she's a congresswoman
in Edinburgh.
Who? What?
No. Well, Chris Beale said she's a congresswoman. Somebody help me here. I can't even tell this right now.
Congresswoman. I think crazy, right?
Yeah.
Who is a congresswoman?
Who are you talking about, Chris?
I'm confused.
Who scared me?
I don't know.
Who scared me?
Yeah, but yeah, that's not. I've heard good things about. There's like schools. Yeah. So yeah, if right now
bartender lady.
So if somebody is pouring, if Redbreast 12 is being poured into a barrel right now, we will not get to taste it, unfortunately, because by the time that barrel is 12 years old, the world would have ended. I mean, it's 12 years.
This is true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you can't refute it. I mean, AOC, even though AOC was a bartender, she did go to school.
Speaking of, here I have this.
Did you see the one where she was talking and she had like a New York accent?
No, not a New York
accent.
No,
it wasn't.
No,
okay.
No,
my bad. You're playing it down, bro. It was not. And it's the same. It's the same exact thing that Kamala Harris did,
and it's the same exact thing that Hillary Clinton did before her.
Exactly.
And planes. She also get rid of planes.
I think it's a word called pandering.
Right. Okay, so
we're gonna put some audio.
We'll listen to it here.
Please hold.
Let's see. Donkey
days. This is what organizing looks like. This is what building power looks like. This is what changing the country looks like.
I can't even.
I'm proud to be a bartender. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working retail, folding clothes for other people to buy.
No, man.
There is nothing wrong with preparing the food that your neighbors will eat.
Oh, girl.
Yeah. So, I mean, man, talk about I thought the hot sauce thing was bad.
No,
I mean, that was pretty terrible.
It was very cringeworthy. So it was a challenge I was not able to.
Okay, accomplish. So if blackface is racist, what is this?
Pandering.
I mean, besides pandering, like, is this okay?
Well, no, because she's POC.
That's true. So it's okay. But what about when Hillary did it, though? It wasn't racist then?
I would say that is borderline, yes. Racist, maybe. Especially with the whole hot sauce. Like, if you're assuming that because I am a person of color that I like hot sauce, I like my hot sauce mild.
Shit, I like my shit hot.
I know you do.
If you assume that I enjoy hot sauce, you are correct. You assumed correctly.
I like mine between mild and medium. Like, I like to taste my food.
Right.
I don't want to be sweating and dying.
Here's the thing with hot sauce, in my opinion. This is why I enjoy it. Is because I do like spicy food, but I like to add it. No, I don't like when food is served to you and it's spicy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Someone should tackle her and check her purse.
Yeah. Oh, she's got hot sauce in there for sure. Like, the whole purse is just full of hot sauce. Like, literal, just the sauce.
What kind of hot sauce do you think she has?
No, not in a bottle. Like, it's literally just liquid hot sauce inside her whole purse. Like, just a whole liquid, just all hot sauce.
If your hot sauce doesn't go bad within a few days, then it's not really hot sauce. Chris said, if she went the she went to school thing isn't holding much water with the recent celeb news of people buying their kids' ways into school.
Oh, that's true.
Which,
that's
mind
true.
you, she did grow up in a nice part of New York, right? As far as I know.
Well, she tried to pass the story that she was raised by a single mom, but not really. Like, she wasn't. Her dad died when she was, pretty much grown up.
Which sucks.
Well, yeah. But that's kind of different from being raised as a single, by a single mother. Like, that's kind of a different narrative.
Sorry, I'm like.
Chris said, Taco Bell sauce makes me sweat beads.
It's true. You know what? One time I saw,
no chat.
One time I hung out with Chris and he was kind of sweaty. I think the air was too spicy for him.
Water can't be spicy. Ketchup is spicy.
Yeah.
The ketchup
can be spicy.
When the mayonnaise is too spicy, son, that's when you know.
Hellman's mayonnaise.
Oh, that's when you know. You're like, oh, no, I can't. I have the Miracle Whip. I can't have actual mayonnaise. It's too spicy.
It hurts.
Taco Bell is an interesting subject. We were talking about it. Like, a coworker of mine was telling me about it. He's like, "Oh, have you tried their mini quesadillas?" I'm like, are they different than like the bigger, like the full size ones? Like, does the size make them taste better? Like, I don't know. Why would I try that? Because I was like, Taco Bell, it hits the spot at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
like, there's certain times where
and it hits out the spot at fucking 6 a.m.
Yeah. But look, when you go to Taco Bell, you get what you're expecting. Chorro.
Dude, yeah, absolutely.
But see, if I like what I get is I'll just get a freaking chicken quesadilla or whatever. Like, you're not gonna shit your pants with that.
So the reason why I go to Taco Bell, I have a sentimental value when it comes to Taco Bell because my mother would take us there because it was cheap, it was affordable. It had taco in the franchise name.
Yeah.
And the cinnamon twist.
Look, Taco Bell was voted the #1 Mexican place.
No,
so
that you can't refute that, bro.
It's science.
It was voted. It is what it is.
The results are in. Whether you like that, see, that's why you should vote. That's why voting. This is why voting is important.
I know Del Taco is better
because you end up with
or Baker's.
Oh, dude, the Macho Grande burrito.
You know what,
yeah. Man, you don't like Baker's?
No, it's not that I don't like it. It's that I didn't grow up with it.
Wait, Baker's or Del Taco?
Either one.
Well, yeah.
Either one.
Oh, okay.
I went to Taco Bell far more than I did to Del Taco.
Okay, I do like Baker's.
I don't. It's good. It is, in my opinion. And you know, we're gonna start a race war, but it's okay. I'm ready because
I'm ready. You know, I'm prepared. Did you buy enough? Did you buy enough mags?
Ooga booga, ooga booga.
Sir, you're gonna get us banned.
Yeah.
How dare you?
It's completely legal. It was acquired during the week of freedom. We'll talk about that.
Well then, the week of freedom.
Yeah, Freedom Week.
Del Taco fries. Yeah, the
Del Taco fries.
You know what? Del Taco comes to mind, especially because I was talking to somebody.
Their burgers are good,
and we were talking about crinkle cut fries, and I was like, "What fast food place has them?" They were like, Taco Bell. I'm like, that's the only one.
Yeah,
as far as I know.
Crinkle cut.
Yeah.
Doesn't wait.
Baker's don't have them. They have the straight ones.
They have the straight ones.
Which ones are the crinkle cut?
The ones that are like the wavy ones. Well, Del Taco fries.
Del Taco fries has them.
Who else has them? Nobody, son. That's the answer.
Riddle me that, Batman.
Who has? What's the other one? Chris cut fries.
Oh, Chris cut fries. There's a lot of people that have them.
Carl's,
Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah, Chick-fil-A does.
But they're not seasoned. But anyway, what the fuck were we talking about?
Chick-fil-A is fucking no.
We were talking about Baker's.
Oh,
Baker's, yes. In my opinion, come at me, you Texas motherfuckers, is better than Whataburger. 1,000%.
I've heard a lot of things about Whataburger.
Whataburger is completely let down. Fuck Whataburger.
I've only heard good things about Whataburger from locals.
Look,
that's it.
Here's the thing. When my buddy Stretch, who travels all across the U.S. all the time, I gotta have him on here sometime.
Demonetized
because of the Freedom Week mag. What are you gonna do to get monetized? That's what I want to know. Well, do we not gotta show?
We gotta get monetized first, Chris, before we get demonetized.
It's true.
We've been demonetized.
Yeah, this costs us money to do,
but we enjoy it though.
Yeah, it's good times.
We love it.
But what was I talking about? We're talking about
Baker's.
So my buddy Stretch, every time, like, he'll make a post about fucking Whataburger, and somebody be like, "Oh, you got to get the chicken sandwich when you go there." It's like, look, the fucking name Whataburger is fucking burger in the name. Like, if the burger is not the right thing to order at Whataburger, change your fucking name. Like,
well, in the name, if you put a question mark, what's a burger?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, here's the thing: is look up pictures of Whataburger. It looks like they have a dude that's like, this guy. Yeah. It might be his sole job, like a 300-pound dude in the back that just sits on your burgers to warm them up. Like, they look like somebody fucking sits on them, and then before they serve them to you, they jump up and down on the fucking. I have to say
the same thing with Newcastle.
I haven't had Newcastle.
I you know what? I tried when I was in Indianapolis. I went to go try it, but the line was out the door, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Well, you know, when I went to Vegas, I wanted to try the Wahlburgers.
Oh, the Wahlbergs?
Wahlburgers.
I've heard good things about Wahlburgers.
Yeah, I didn't try it. The line was like
there's some in Hollywood.
You know what? I haven't tried a Shake Shack, and I've heard that's pretty good.
It's okay.
Shake Shack's okay.
They had one in Moreno Valley.
Yeah, they had one going up, like, I think towards Victorville. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's decent. It's not bad. I mean,
but it's not on the same tier.
I think the hamburger tastes like a shake.
It's not like
that's probably intended to.
It's not. It tastes like a shake. What the? How?
I don't know. It just does.
What kind? Like a strawberry shake?
I don't know.
Like
vanilla, probably.
Shake?
Protein shake.
So Freedom Week has been glorious and awesome. Our wallets are lighter, but our mags are heavier. And a decision that was handed down by the patron saint of extendos, Judge Benitez. He stated that not just an entire penal code was unconstitutional. So from the time that
he said penal,
he made that determination, it did a few things. Mm-hmm. One of the things that it did is it enabled people to buy magazines people in California to buy magazines that since the year 2000 had been banned because they held more than 10 rounds. Yeah. And another thing that it did, and this was yes, another thing that it did was it also reset kind of a clock, if you will, or a date. So prior to this trial, so there was a stay on enforcing certain parts of Prop 63, which were made to that determined that possession of magazines that held more than 10 rounds was illegal, and you had to get rid of them, either by destroying them, by sending them out of state, or by turning them in. In LA County, when this passed, 0 were turned in. But yeah, but what happened there when this was passed? So prior to this, there are certain handguns that you can buy now that weren't around in 2000. But somehow, if for some reason you had magazines for these guns that were of standard capacity, it'd be pretty easy to prove. Like, look, dude, where did you get these? Like, it was this came out. This gun came out in 2002. Why do you have magazines for it? Like, obviously, you did something that you weren't supposed to do. In essence, now we just reset that to modern day. And a lot of I mean, a lot of people, I mean, I'm not going to say whether a lot of people had magazines anyway that they were illegal to own, or because they had them prior to, or because they just didn't give a fuck. Right. Which I'm okay with either one.
IDGAF.
Yeah. Nevada, Arizona, they're all close by. Right. So when the determination was made, look, this entire penal code is unconstitutional, and it is being enjoined from being enforced. Now all of a sudden, a whole bunch of people just went out. Pretty much, dude. Tons of websites were completely out of stock.
My condolences.
Rick. I would have to say that quite easily. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of magazines were purchased. Yeah. I mean, some of the biggest retailers, online retailers of gun parts and magazines, were completely out of stock. Damn. I mean,
I saw that post. You posted a picture, a screenshot of that. It was just gone.
Yeah. Done. Everything out of stock. Like,
it was a good day for them.
Yeah. It's been a good week. Freedom Week was very good for a lot of online retailers. Shout out to Brownells. Specifically, they sent out an email that said, hey, look, I didn't get this email because unfortunately I didn't get to order from them. I say unfortunately because anything else I will be ordering more from them. They sent out an email that said, hey, look, you ordered mags from us for people that did order. Yeah. Your orders are being processed. Some retailers even prioritize the orders. They said, look, as soon as the stay was announced a couple of days ago, they said, look, you have until Friday at 5 p.m. To acquire these. Right. That may have been, people interpreted it a little bit different, right? Some retailers interpret it as if they're not sent out by 5 p.m., they'll give you refunds. Others said, look, if your order comes in at 4:59, we're still going to send them to you. I don't know exactly which policy Brownells took, but Brownells is a major online retailer. They sell tons of parts, tools, specialty tools. Overall, good people, even better people, because of the email they sent out. They said, look, we appreciate your orders. This is, how we're going to process your orders. I won't go into details. But more importantly, we appreciate your business. We appreciate your support. and we are making a donation to the California Rifle and Pistol Association to continue to fight this case. Which, that's man, huge. There's a lot of online retailers that raise their prices. We will remember those people. There's a lot of retailers who denied sales. We'll remember those people. There's companies that denied warranty repairs, replacements. We'll remember those people.
You called out a certain company about that.
A pretty large company. They ended up deleting that post. It was pretty interesting.
Oh, did they? Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I'm not going to mention them specifically, but you guys know who it is.
I mean, why not call them out?
Because it's not for us to get it. It's not. I don't want to involve us. I'll involve me. I'm fine with that. I mean,
hashtag me too.
Yeah, but
I get it. Speaking of that,
but yeah, I mean, there's tons of. I mean, every retailer that I look to, the very common, the Gen 3 Glocks have been for sale in California for quite a long time. You would probably be hard pressed right now to find a retailer that still has some in stock.
Gen 3?
Well, Glock magazines in general. Oh. Because the way that they make them, they fit any generation Glocks. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could have had a generation 1 and it'll work in your.
What's the capacity on those?
Standard capacity for a Glock 19 is 15 rounds. For the Glock 17, I think it's 17 rounds. I could be wrong. I'm not a Glock person.
They call him out only for watching.
So Larry just butthurt they didn't replace him.
Hey, look. I mean, it's one of those things. They would have sold.
It's the principle, Vic.
Look, they would have sold me a mag if I would have purchased one. And the thing is I talked to the guy. I assumed that the guy wasn't part of that decision. I assumed he was running the warranty department.
Right.
But apparently this guy is also part of sales. So I was like, okay. So then you were involved in making that decision to sell magazines to California, but not to do warranty repair or replacements. Interesting. Whatever. Yeah. I'm over it. Whatever. I have plenty of mags.
Everyone,
I had 0 mags when the Freedom Week started. I have plenty of mags now. So that's all there is to it.
So Chris had said something about the automation as far as let me see, as far as robots taking care of. Oh, here it is. Robots gonna fix that burger job.
Yeah.
Soon though, that brings to mind Andrew Yang, as far as a universal basic income.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
I sent him I sent him a request for $1,000. He never fucking sent it back to me. He never sent me my $1,000. It would have really come in handy this Freedom Week for sure. If Andrew Yang would have sent me the $1,000 during Freedom Week, I would have voted for him.
So look, I was totally like why? So, but as far as automation, at some point, as far as like technology goes, it's gonna progress.
Sure.
And robotics, I was having a conversation with my cousin. Robotics it's gonna take over as far as jobs. So in my mind, like that makes sense, but in the future, like
not now.
In the far future, it's gonna make sense. So it is something that does need to be talked about, in my opinion. Does need to be talked about because as far as I can see, humans are trying to find a way to be more and more lazy.
I think we're wasting our time in having this conversation. Look, robots taking over isn't going to happen in the next 12 years, and we're going to be dead by then.
Not in the next 12 years. No.
So the whole automation thing, we should just not discuss that. What's important is we should discuss cow farts. That's important.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Cow farts too have been here since
for a lot longer than we.
A lot longer. Yes. A lot longer.
It's because it's accumulated to now.
So. Look, I don't know. Eat more steaks. You'll do your part in helping out the environment.
Yeah, but if you live the vegan life, you'd be saving the environment a lot more.
Chale.
Yeah,
because you'd be eating those plants that provide that CO2 that we need.
Yeah, but then I'm gonna make more farts. Like if I eat cabbage, I make a lot of farts if I eat cabbage. So that adds to the air pollution.
Here's my take on that. Like, why are you gonna eat the plants that provide that oxygen that eats up that CO2?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
There's an issue there.
Yeah. Maybe they're offsetting the cow farts.
I don't think so.
So,
hold on, there's a bunch of posts coming in through. If we got rid of every single other foreign public care, I'd be willing to give UBI a shot. I'm for getting rid of all taxes, but on the road to doing that, we could try other things in the meantime.
Yeah, I forget. So I was watching a video, and it's been a while since I've watched this stuff. But Colion Noir put out a video on San Francisco and the situation going on there. It's a really good watch in terms of what's going on there, and maybe a different perspective in terms of why San Francisco is the way that it is. In terms of, and not just San Francisco. I was watching another thing that was talking about the homelessness problem in Seattle. Other places that are typically
San Diego has a huge
LA is problem. Crazy right now.
Yeah.
It's always been crazy.
I
over
think,
here too.
I think it's pretty fair to, you can draw your own conclusion in terms of what they're trying to lead you to believe or lead you to understand when you watch that video. But it's a very good one, and I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah. Some people like when it comes to our opinions as far as things on like homelessness and
Vic, stay away from that. Stay away from that stuff, man. You'll get a virus.
What'd Vic say?
Yeah.
No,
you can read it.
I can't even read it. It's not
I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, it's not even up on mine.
But anyways,
here I'll show you.
One thing that is annoying about let's see. Hold on, I'm not gonna read it out loud. This is true, Vic.
Yeah, you're gonna get a virus.
You want to stay about
wait, I gotta see.
You want to stay away from that, man. You want to get some what's that called? Antivirus, some anti-malware.
Yeah, Norton is a pretty good one. Maybe McAfee, but McAfee's into some pretty weird stuff.
Dude, McAfee. Dude, he is weird.
I think if you buy McAfee, they send you a hammock. I could be wrong. Send you a hammock along with that.
So one thing I find funny is how certain people will say like, well, you know what? You're not an expert in this area, so your opinion does not count. F you. My opinion does not count.
On what specifically?
Yeah. Anything.
Okay.
I mean, like global warming. We'll talk about like.
What about feminism?
Same thing too. I mean, and we'll go back. I think Eddie had brought about that whole hashtag Me Too as far as Mr. Biden.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one of them.
Right, I was talking about the Green Day thing.
Green Day, Biden. I mean, where are the people now? Where is the outrage as far as like what the F? Like,
well, the Biden thing's been going on for many years.
We've known
those
about
videos have been floating around for fucking ages.
Yeah, he's trying to run for 2020.
But the same people that were hysterical about Kavanaugh are now defending.
I saw a meme and they were like, "Oh, there's so much shit coming out about Joe Biden. You swear he was just nominated to the Supreme Court?"
Yes, exactly.
Good night, Vic.
Exactly.
Have a good one, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. So where is so many double standards?
Yeah.
So many double standards.
That's crazy.
It's tribalism. And then with the whole Green Day thing, oh my gosh,
that's hilarious.
Wait! I want to know about this one.
I sent the video. I don't know if you watched it.
I watched it.
Oh my gosh!
So three dudes are writing a graphic novel as a handbook for modern day feminism, and feminists are not.
They're not happy.
They're not with it. And I agree to a certain extent. Like, what are they doing? Like, the whole thing about male feminists, and I'll send you guys a video about male feminists that have been accused of some pretty heinous acts in terms of like
sexual assault.
In terms of who they really are, like, and why they're posturing as male feminists. They're not to be trusted. They're not doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it for all the wrong reasons, and they're trying to be, they're sneaky as fuck.
Very sneaky.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about, how the Me Too movement, right? And stuff like that. Have you heard that a gentleman is coming out with the Me Too, but the men's side of it?
Which, okay, like, why not?
Well, yeah, and then I guess I forgot who it was. And then, see, I got to get good at getting my sources so I could speak about it a little bit more. But I guess he was having confirmations with another Me Too feminist, and him were going back and forth. He's like, no, you can't do that.
Because he's male.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Right.
Like, come on. Like, hey, you want to do it? We can do it. Come on.
But you know what, though? Feminism is
cancer. Yes, I agree.
It can be cancer, absolutely.
Yeah.
But when people say like feminism is for both sides, right? But it's obviously mostly for one side, which is the namesake of it. But there are some people like, well, feminism is supposed to be about both sides. But unfortunately, I believe you.
No.
But there's a vast majority that are like, well, it's just for just.
Well, it's third wave feminism. Third wave feminism is modern day feminism has turned into just. I mean, and it's the thing. It's like, that has just been crazy. It's not necessarily about equality. It's about supremacy.
Chris, we're trying to be woke.
Yeah,
you have no idea, man.
No, Green Day is woke. We are not woke.
Oh,
Green Day is woke. Bad. Yeah, Green Day is definitely woke. The 40-something-year-old, men that are, definitely
47
that are in touch with what women go through.
You know what Tim Pool had brought up in that video about how, like, where was the outrage during Obama's?
No, not at all. There was none.
None.
Yeah, there's just Orange Man bad.
That's why I like listening to it. So Tim Pool, he's a leftist. He's center left, right?
Yeah, he describes himself as
about
a little bit left to center.
Right.
Yeah,
left to center.
It's about power now.
I mean, the dude used to work for Vice.
Right.
I mean, not exactly like a super. And he's accused of being alt-right, which is hilarious.
It is hilarious.
I mean, think about it. When somebody, describes themselves as center left and they're alt-right, like, that's pretty hilarious.
It really is. but yeah, I mean, he was like he was not a fan of Obama's administration. He said Obama was Bush
with a smile.
Which was, I got to say, it was accurate.
Yeah, if you look objectively at, what happened during his time period, I would say that that's pretty accurate. Yeah. Not a whole lot changed. I mean, other than the whole Obamacare thing.
Well, one thing did change was the amount of melanin in our president. That did change.
However, the United States has, as a country, and you all should be proud of this, we have proven that once you go black, you can in fact go back.
Oh wow, that is very true.
Yeah, so
debunked.
Yeah, so that saying is no longer valid.
Myth busted.
Too bad we'd have an ESPN little thing. Nah.
We could.
I mean, if you guys haven't figured that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's funny. It's like, the thing that I posted not too long ago. It's like there's no anything like short of like, fairly radical leftism. You're a Nazi. You're racist. Can't tell you how many times I've
which is
had the discussion about my white privilege, even though I'm very clearly not a whole.
Which is why I had commented on your post about that. Like, I don't know how to come out to my parents to let them know that I'm a Nazi, bigot, racist, misogynist person because I am center. I don't know what I would be. Center right, maybe now. I was center left.
I don't know. Before. I think it would be interesting to take a political compass test and see, kind of compare notes. Compare notes.
Maybe Facebook has one of those.
Yeah, so they can steal all your information and
absolutely
and all your pictures and whatnot.
They have one of those tests.
No, but there's actual political compasses, and they're quite involved, and they do take a little bit of time, but it's interesting. I mean, I know mine has changed over the years. And like we mentioned before, unfortunately, this push for radical leftism is, for me, not working out too well. I mean, in fact, like, to me, it's like I've seen people that, leaned a lot more libertarian. Like, they're going, like, really hard right.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, dude. The Democrats are just effing themselves up.
And that's also partially the fault of the Libertarian Party. Let's not miss that part. Right? I mean, they a lot of people were okay or even proud of considering themselves libertarians, until the endorsement of Gary Johnson,
Fielder Johnson.
Yeah, and what the fuck is his face? Weld. I forget his first name. Maybe Bill Weld. I don't know. Which were very clearly not very libertarian candidates. And yeah, as Chris mentioned, I'm just skimming through his comment. But the oppression Olympics, it's a thing.
It is.
Who can be the bigger victim, and that's who has the most achievement in life.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing, and this is something that somebody mentioned. Like they were talking about, like, the value of college and this and that. Like, dude, it's not education anymore. It's indoctrination.
It is indoctrination.
Look what modern colleges are. They're not providing any sort of space for deeper thought. Look who's teaching these colleges,
and look who's paying to get there.
No space for it's true. I mean, no space for conversations too.
No space for new ideas.
Nothing.
It's just
shutting down. They become fascist.
Well, if you need a safe, you need a safe space. Everything, dude.
Safe space. There is no safe space.
The world, nature, whatever. It's not safe.
No.
Without
surprise.
Yeah. It's not safe. Mm-hmm. And how you deal with that lack of safety really depends on you and how you were raised and how you were educated.
So Chris brought up that people call Ben Shapiro, which he's pretty much an Orthodox Jew, they call him a Nazi. He's a Jewish dude.
Yeah.
A Nazi.
Yeah, a Jewish Nazi. Yeah. Well,
how?
That's like, I mean, Chappelle did it. Clayton Bixby.
Clayton Bixby, right?
Yeah. So that was another thing that I've forgotten about is I forget that dude's name, but during the libertarian debate, some big fat white dude decided to strip down to his underwear and run around during the convention. So it was pretty interesting. But yeah, he wasn't serious either. And it's one of those things is I mean, at least for me, the Libertarian Party has kind of not gone in a direction that I've been interested in keeping up with. So
yeah.
Same here, dude. Same.
No, I agree with Chris too. He said we need a good hard reset on that.
Yeah, shit. A plague, a meteor. You know what we need is socialism.
No,
that's what we need.
Let's do it just to show people that is shit, because socialism historically has always lost. So I'm sure we can.
Socialism does have the bonus side effect is that it starves the communists, socialists. Mm-hmm. Starves them to death.
I mean, the armies are too weak.
It kills them.
I was watching some video about socialism, and he's like, okay. So he went to college, and he was like, okay, let's do this. Okay. So what do you think about socialism? He's like, oh, it'll be great, free education, blah, blah. I was like, he's like, okay, let's put it this way. Okay, what if you're going to school and you're getting all A's, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah. Okay, what if somebody else came and you shared those A's with somebody else? He's like, no, that's wrong. He's like, okay, well, socialism is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
And then they give shit, and then
they give more examples. They go into it. That's like clearly the same argument that everybody else will. They're making bad choices for their life, and I study hard for my grades. It's like, dude, they're literally like letters on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, but the argument is, everything, the top 1%, shit. Okay, so you're gonna turn your straight A's into straight C's. So somebody that got F's can also get C's.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and it's not even that. I wish it was that, but it never ends up being that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It never ends up being that.
Nope.
It's some guy at the top that will take the better part, and he'll make sure his people are taken care of. Yep. Everybody that keeps them in power, people with the guns,
because they forget about the human component of
socialism,
government,
and that's why it fails.
And socialism, because humans naturally want for. It's our ego. We just want everything for ourselves.
Yeah. So
and that's why it fails.
Yeah. So Chris understands where I was going. We don't need a virus. We don't need a meteor. We need Bernie Sanders.
You know what, Bernie? But I don't know though. He can't even shower. He can't shower on his own. Dude.
We don't need showers where we're going.
Well,
who needs a shower when you're starving? You don't need a shower.
This is true. There are more important things as far as
than taking
showers.
a shower.
Look, once you are eating zoo animals, showers are not important.
But that's all propaganda, Larry.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's propaganda.
Yeah.
It's propaganda. I mean, there's no such thing. I mean, nobody's suffering. It's all propaganda that people are. What cracks me up about that when people call it propaganda is like, so North Korea, when you visit North Korea, they show you the good parts of North Korea.
Yeah, they have fake stores that have all the...
Right. And so they're like, well, we have journalists that went over there and it looks like they're normal. Like the stores look great.
No.
Like it's fine. Like everybody's, well, they're showing you the good parts of it. They're not showing you outside. And,
right.
They're not showing you the part where literally people are eating grass.
Digging out of dumpsters.
Yeah.
And then we're...
well, down in South America. Right?
Well, yeah, Venezuela.
Yeah.
I mean, Jorge Ramos got detained because he showed what's his face?
Some people eating out of the trash.
Yes.
They were literally picking stuff out of the trash.
Eating out of the trash, and he got detained, and that footage was, confiscated. So it's terrible. Pretty much all advocates for socialism don't even practice their virtues. I mean, even
that's the thing.
You know what? Even
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders,
example.
AOC.
Yeah, perfect example.
She travels by plane.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie Sanders is a socialist with 3 homes.
Why though?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 for me, none for thee.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Nice.
That's social. That's socialism. That's exactly. These people are the embodiment of socialism. They talk a nice game. They say things that make people feel good, but deep down, like they're exactly what they're speaking against. It's a giant hypocrisy. But we still need Bernie Sanders because it will starve the socialists. I mean, we'll die, but who cares? We're gonna die in 12 years anyway, so it's all right. Doesn't matter.
Would love to see Bernie's taxes and those write-offs.
Oh, dude!
But you know what? Yeah.
When you got 3 mortgages, I'm pretty sure you got some pretty decent write-offs.
Oh, dude, Russia scandal. Why are they still going after the whole Russia scandal?
Oh, now it's nothing was proven by the summary. We need the whole report.
Which, by the way, Trump is for releasing the whole report. Which, of course, they got to redact the stuff that's classified, of course. But he's for it. He was the one I was like, you know what? Let's get this done and over with. Just release it. Do it.
Not just that, but now they're back on his taxes. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, now it's like, the
AOC
taxes.
tweeted about it.
Yeah, now it's the taxes.
AOC's like, oh, we demand your taxes. But Trump's like, oh, well, I can't because I'm being audited. And you know what audited means? They need to figure out what happened. So if you release them right away, it's like, well.
Here's the thing is, I mean, if you print out your own returns and look at them, chances are you probably have no fucking idea what's going on.
No clue.
So that whole distraction of the taxes, it's not a thing. Look, let's look around this. Let's look at things that actually, like, his taxes don't affect me. If he evaded taxes, good. We should all be able to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, it is what it is. We should be able to keep all or
the majority
most
of our money.
Of the money. And the only reason I say most is because, maybe you make some charitable donations.
So I did my taxes. Of course, we all did our taxes recently, but when I was sitting in my tax lady's office or whatnot, I kept hearing like her clients questioning why they were getting less on her taxes.
They weren't.
And that was a whole
tweet. So here's the there was tweets going out, there was Facebook posts, and there was like, fucking Trump, now I'm getting less back on my taxes.
No, because you got more during the year.
Bitch, do you know?
Because you paid less.
Are overpaying.
Exactly.
You are giving the government an interest-free loan. And so I love my tax lady, but she was like, so the good news is you don't have to pay. I was like, I know, because I have tax write-offs, stuff like that. And she's like, the bad news is you're not getting as much as last year's. That's perfect.
I didn't pay.
That means I didn't give freaking Uncle Sam more of my money. And during the year, I was able to keep more of my money where I can save my money and have the interest work for me instead of the government.
Exactly.
Look, I got more money back so that I can pay more taxes in gas for California.
Exactly.
That's
another fucking
Dude, gas has been going up like crazy,
it's
man.
Fucking crazy.
For it's
fucking $5 to fill up my fucking tank.
They're saying that it's gone up an average of 43 cents.
And that's twice a week.
So here's the thing: is there was actually
exactly.
Here's the thing: is they said that there's actually been some issues with the refineries, in California, like Torrance and some other ones that are nearby, and that's why. That it's affected the supply. Here's the thing.
Fuck that. They haven't fucking fixed no fucking roads.
Look, here's the thing: is the price goes up on gas, sure, but it's one of those things that's like, it's still we still need it. Like very few people are able to say, you know, oh well, you know, I'm just gonna stay home and not go to work because gas is too expensive. Like no, we still gotta pay that shit. And I mean, man, it's getting pretty close to like summertime levels of gas prices. Fuck. And yeah, it's crazy. It went up. It went up pretty drastically.
It was crazy, man. Especially because my job is just driving all fucking day. So I've been feeling.
You're feeling it, huh?
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Even they expense me for my fucking gas, but still, I feel it's like money that I'm putting forward, but getting at the end, but I'm still. It's like recycle money. It's just
good. You can write that off, right?
So not for taxes, no. Okay, they already take it off.
So if you're doing that, are you getting any sort of like credit card benefits through that?
No.
You should think about that. Sign up for like a card that gives you like points or miles or whatever.
Okay.
Or a discount. Like we signed up for the Costco one, and like at the end of the year we got a check or not a check, but it's like one of their like Costco cash certificates,
right,
for like $234.
Really?
Look, it's money that like, so you have to be disciplined in that. Like if you are paying your gas money, whenever you get paid, like you pay it off.
Right.
So you don't carry
that
a balance
or whatever.
So you don't carry a balance, so you don't get fucked. If you get paid every 2 weeks, pay it off at the end of the second week or whatever. Whenever you get your
just
money
save
back.
the receipts and just accumulate.
But it's money. It's money you're getting back for nothing. For literally doing exactly what you're doing now. Just don't fucking carry a balance, and then you get free money from Costco. And there's other ones like there's travel cards that do that. But again, it's you're playing the game from them, because what they expect you to do is to pay for something and carry a balance, and whatever reward they give you is immediately fucked the first month that you carry a balance.
Right.
So just strictly use it for gas?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially if you get 3%. paid back. Like, dude, Costco is like 4%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And Costco's gas is pretty cheap.
For gas purchases.
So So as long as you use it for that certain purpose and pay out the balance.
Yeah. Especially if you're getting reimbursed. Like that's a no-brainer. That's free money, literally free money.
As long as you don't carry a balance on it.
Yeah, because
they will fuck you on the interest.
The first month that you carry a balance, like you've negated any sort of rewards that you've earned. Mm-hmm. So there's that. You
gotta play it smart. It's a gamble. It's a gamble.
You just have to be on top of it.
So it's not necessarily the Costco. So there's the Costco in Eastvale that opened. They have a ton more of actual like pumps. Like there's some Costco's that are worse than others in terms of for getting gas, but I don't think that the gas reward is specifically for Costco. I think it's for any gas purchase.
On the Costco card?
Yeah.
So okay.
So I think that's like 4% back for the first up to the first 7,000. So that's quite a bit.
That is quite a bit.
And if you buy stuff at Costco, I mean, if you're like, it'll literally at least pay for your Costco membership, for the year, if nothing else. I mean, we got that back, and I don't spend as much on gas as you do, but I didn't use specifically just that card for that. But it's something to look into. Like I said, the Costco one is just an example. You can do other ones that do like airline miles or whatever. And one of my coworkers was like, so he thought that airline miles from whatever credit card he signed up for, he thought that like when he spent $1, he was going to get a mile like of air travel. Right. Yeah. So he thought like, I was like, so wait, you thought that like literally if you spend like $500, you were going to get a trip from, LAX to Vegas? Like, see where that doesn't make sense? Like, you know, $500, like, you know, they're not just gonna give you that much air travel. Like, you're not just gonna spend, you know, a couple $1,000 and then just end up with a free trip. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Damn, 46,000 miles annually for work. And that's one thing that people out of state don't understand about Californians is that you need to commute to be able to make a living out here.
Yeah, very few people live where they, you know, where they work.
Right. Exactly. It's rare.
Yeah.
And so some people will be like, well, that's stupid. It's like, no, that's just the life here in California.
Yeah.
Commuting is part of life here in California.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is in your state.
Get around,
Well, that's the funny thing about the whole magazine thing and the Freedom Week, and you still see those comments like, oh, well, they should just move and this and that. I'm like, dude, you haven't even left the fucking county where you grew up. You're gonna tell somebody to move to another fucking state. Get the fuck out of here. Just move. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
These are the people that still think that everything's gonna stay the same in their state.
Nope.
No, somebody had made a comment. He's like, "Oh, laughs in Arizona." And I'm like, "Yeah, we'll see if you'll still be laughing in 5 years." You know, it's these people that are, you know, that make those type of comments that are complacent and they don't vote and they think that everything's gonna stay the same. You know, Colorado and Nevada and Washington and Oregon beg to differ.
Yep.
Their laws have changed quite extensively.
It'll be in your state soon.
Yep.
It will be in your state
Coming to a state near you.
Yep. That's how it works. The stupid spreads.
Complacency.
Yeah. So
speaking of stupid, remember that GoFundMe scam that went on between the couple and the homeless guy?
Yeah. That's still going on?
No. Well, apparently they're facing 10 to 20.
Nice.
For being assholes.
Definitely.
Wow. Yeah. I know. I think the wife is facing about 10 and the husband about 10 to 20.
I saw the interview, and quite honestly, like, you can tell the husband was the one that came up with the idea, but the wife was cool with it. So fuck both of them. Yeah. Fuck all three of them.
All of them.
Fucked.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Just for all that. Yeah.
Did you guys watch the it was the video of the whole, remember the prison reformation, and then Trump had like he had a press conference where he had some of the prisoners that were freed from the
I don't think I watched that one.
No? Oh dude, it's good. It's good stuff to watch. He had some of the people that were freed from their sentence because of the prison reform. They're talking all kinds of good stuff. But of course of course you guys probably didn't listen or hear about it because that's not talked about. Let's talk about his taxes, you know.
Well, that was laughed off when they were talking about Kim Kardashian going and meeting up with the president. You know, remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
And quite honestly, like at first I was like, oh, okay. Like that is kind of silly, you know?
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian going to talk to the president. Like, but, you know, apparently there was some progress made there, you know? All because somebody from, you know, that world was the celebrity world was willing to talk to the president.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying all of them should.
Who knew a sex tape would lead to freeing a couple of inmates that were in prison for stupid stuff?
Yeah. It's
mind blown.
Thanks, Ray J.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bless your heart, sir.
Oh my God. Did you speaking of sex tapes and being useless, did you ever hear about the radio interview from Mia Khalifa?
No.
Oh, I'll have to send you guys that.
Is that the one where she got pissed?
Yeah, because she mentioned that, like, they mentioned that she was a former adult actress. A pincushion. You know, and she took offense to that, and people were just fucking clowning on her. They're I thought she was famous because of how much she likes sports.
No. No, she likes to play with balls though, but
yeah. Well, that's a whole thing, but it was pretty interesting. She fucking just got so mad. Funny. She got so mad, and it's like, dude, that's the only reason anybody fucking.
She said she was like in 3 adult films, something like that. I said, get your facts straight.
Fuck no,
I may be wrong.
I think she said she only did it for 3 months, and everybody was like, "I must have been a busy 3 months." There's a lot of videos. But yeah, it's that was a whole interesting one. That reminded me, the whole sex tape thing reminded me. I was like, oh, she has a whole bunch of them. But Anything else?
No.
I don't know.
I'm good.
I'm trying to think. This always happens. I'll think of something afterwards.
I mean, I wrote down notes, but this was like stuff from like, that dude that set himself on fire.
I didn't hear about that.
I didn't hear about that one.
I think I sent you guys the article about the liberal that set himself on fire because we elected someone who won't respect the Constitution of the United States.
Oh, please. So he lit himself on fire because of Gavin Newsom?
Oh.
All right. Well, we're about to end it anyway.
Yeah.
So. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's been fun.
Thank you, guys.
It's been a good time.
Peace.
Bye. Later.